Hey, it's Kat of Kattalestv, and I hope you're having a great holiday. I am a little bit under the weather. I've been traveling for, God knows, like 6 months away on the East Coast, and I'm back in LA, if you don't know. I've been here for about 3 weeks, and it's been eventful as always. Some crazy stuff is going on. Besides out there in the real world with the impeachment hearings, so much drama. You know, a long story short, you know how I like to say that. When I was in New York, I was shooting R. Kelly's story, Jeffrey Epstein's story, Harvey Weinstein. I bumped into Val Kilmer. So many great things happened. I can't even remember all of them, but one of the things that happened was a lot of people, or I should say corporations, were interested in my footage, the videos as well as the stills, and was really interesting. One particular company kept buying a bunch of stuff via my agent, one of my agents, and I don't know how to explain this without getting too deep, but some of the agencies take forever to get paid, and when you're working very hard and you're paying for your own expenses, it can put you in a lot of anxiety and worried about getting paid, and so you start trying to figure out different ways to not be stressed and to take more control of your business. So one of the things I was doing was selling stuff on eBay, Poshmark, and also thinking about seriously working for a newspaper company directly. So I actually contacted a particular company since they had bought several of my footage, several of my stories, both pics and videos. Long story short, they were very rude on the phone every time I called. And I found that interesting because they were actually looking for people to work for them. They had ads up on their website as well as other places saying they needed photographers, photojournalists, etc. So I didn't understand their whole demeanor. If you're looking for people to work for you, why would you be a jerk on the phone? And I actually talked to some of their people that worked for them, and I said, hey, I'm getting this weird thing when I call the company. And they were just like, they're just rude. So fast forward, came back to LA, I bumped into Larry King, and one of the things that happened is I've been gone for so long that a lot of people where I shoot were worried about me or asking about me, and while I'm shooting Larry King, people are asking me like, hey, are you back, blah 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 blah. So it kind of ruined the video footage in reference to the Larry King story if they kept the audio, because the person was asking about me. So anyway, I tried to sell the stills directly to several people, several companies, shall we say, and that didn't work out either. And like I said, this is very frustrating because people bug me all the time when they ask me about how much money can you make off a photograph, and they don't understand that it is based on a variety of factors that make no sense, and it's very frustrating even talking about it. But a lot of people also suggested that I sell stuff directly. What they don't realize also is that you don't know what kind of relationships these media conglomerates have with the agencies, because a lot of the newspaper agencies are dying. They are not hiring staff. They all want freelancers, so they have to pay for insurance or, those things that normally take care of a person who works for a company for a long time. So a lot of businesses are, all they want is independent contractors. They don't want any unions. They want to pay people the less amount of money as possible and keep them stressed, constantly looking and struggling. That's what they like to do. So this company kept blowing me off, even though they were buying my stuff through the agency. So fast forward to a couple of days ago, I bumped into Henry Winkler while I was saying hello to some friends I hadn't seen a long time and who I've known for several years in Beverly Hills. And he was at the restaurant where I was saying hello to my friends. And so when I waited for him to finish his lunch, I asked him, what was he doing for Thanksgiving, things like that, innocuous, but I'm always polite. So I got there first, and I shot some stills first, and then I did the video. So when I was doing video, another photographer who was late ends up shooting me, videotaping and speaking with Henry Winkler. So the company, one of the companies that I actually tried to sell stuff directly to, was very rude to me on the phone. They ended up buying the photographs of the other photographer who was late. And they wrote a story implying that I was, harassing the fawns and stuff like that. And I thought that was really so stupid and so petty and just so typical misogynistic asinineness. And the photographer who actually shot the photographs of me and Henry Winkler, he did stuff in the past where he pushed me several years ago. And I remember telling him, dude, if you ever touch me again, I'm going to punch you in the throat. And this is something I don't normally talk about because nobody really seems to care. Being a person who's halfway decent, shall we say, I try to avoid conflict. I honestly do. But what I've noticed is a lot of people look at that as a weakness and they constantly try to test me. They constantly try to test the good. And they'll do anything to destroy it. And if they're late, if they're not in position, if I beat them, it makes them so mad. And one of the things I've learned too is a lot of men can't handle being beat by someone else, but especially a chick that looks like I do, whether it be I'm black or I'm female or I'm really good at my job. Whatever it is, they hate me. And I don't sleep around either, so that causes another issue. And sometimes men, if they don't get women that they want, they become very abusive. But let's just get back to the point. So Page 6 ran a story that I was bugging the fawns and they bought the other guy's photographs. And so I literally was just like, seriously? I mean, if you look at the photographs and how I'm speaking with Mr. Winkler, in no way does it look like I'm being obnoxious or anything like that. But they just had to make a little bullshit story. But I just wanted to call them out on their bullshit. And also that photographer. But it cracks me up. It's like, when you do your job well, and you're a little bit, different, you're not, I don't know how to say this politely, but I've noticed there's a certain type of people that works for certain companies, and the companies need those kind of workers, ones that don't think, one that will do anything to keep the job. If you're an independent thinker, they don't like you. If you challenge certain things, they don't like you. If you speak up for yourself and other people, they don't like you. So a lot of people don't get me, and they wonder why I don't work for certain companies. There's a reason why I don't work for companies like TMZ and Page 6. I'm not an asshole, regardless of what people want to think or want to make up. But a lot of people are jealous of just people who do good work and are halfway decent and have some type of morals. I'm not a saint, but I'm just saying, I try to make, when I'm interviewing somebody or speaking with someone, I try to make it as good for the person as I possibly can. And I'm very respectful because a lot of the people I talk to are some of the greatest talents in their fields in the world. And I have much respect for people who do their job well. So it's just, like I said, it's so funny that this particular situation, Page 6, is answers so many of the questions why I don't work for people like Page 6. And I remember speaking to a person that I photographed in Boston, and I was, she's a businesswoman in the legal field, and I would just happen to, have someone to talk about my frustrations, about, trying to sell stuff directly and trying to be independently, more aggressive. And I was like, I just don't understand why these people, they buy my stuff through the agency, but they will not work with me directly. And she's like, maybe they have a deal with the agency where they just won't do it. And that might be true too. But it's interesting that, how they try to control a person, when you're doing business, how they don't want you to succeed, how they don't want you to make money and get outside the box. But they want to control you and they want to hold your money because, again, some of the agencies, they hold your money for over 3 months, 6 months, 9 months for different shots, and there's no time frame that they're legally bound by unless it's in New York. New York has a rule now that if you shoot in New York or you work as a freelancer in New York, I think they have to pay you within 30 days. Now, the problem is that I shoot in different places of the country, so I need to, keep abreast of my legal rights. But again, I just want to explain to people, when you're working independently, there are pros and cons, and a lot of people just don't understand. And I'm just taking a little time to explain it to you. But it's interesting, like I said, how the media likes to make up stories about it. And the funny thing is, I'm not even famous. I'm not even, you know what I'm saying? They want to fuck with me. And like I said, another thing I want you guys to know is that when I take pictures and video, pictures are different because let's just say this. If I shoot pictures, you're just seeing the pictures. They get submitted to an agency. Once they go to the agency, and when I submit it to the agency, I write a story. What I see, what I see with my own eyes and what I know about the story. And I don't make things up. I try to be as honest and as clear as I possibly can. But once I send that story in, and once somebody buys it, they do with the pictures as they will. I do not have any control after the pictures are bought through the agency. So sometimes people make stuff up. I don't try to make things up. But again, I'm trying to figure out how to do this the most, I'd say ethical way, but that's the only word I can think of is possible. But also I need to make money as much as I possibly can because I want some type of freedom and I don't want to feel like I'm a caged animal with my agents waiting to get paid and, under their thumb. I don't like that. There's so many things going on in the world, that I want to cover. I also realize that I'm kind of a nomad. I like to travel. But I also want to travel well. I traveled crazy in New York. And, New York is very expensive. And it made me realize I've got to step up my game. I have to make more money. I have to travel well. I need to be in one spot so I can really focus on work when I'm shooting in a particular city. And if I'm moving around a lot, it's very distracting and it takes off time from work. And I don't want to do that. Also, I need to be able to sleep. The other thing is, I'm a very strange person. I love working so much to the point where I don't, go to as many museums as I should or go out to rooftop bars in New York and stuff like that. I did get to see a play. Well, I got to see Dave Chappelle in New York, which was awesome. I need to do more things like that, but I just feel like I'm under the gun with making more money and stuff. I have to be more independently wealthy, so I'm not dependent on anyone or any company. I hate it. Also, there's so many great fights gonna happen with UFC. I really would love to go to Russia and shoot that. If Habib, I always say his name funny, if he fights in Russia against Conor or Jorge Masvidal in the future, I would love to go. Excuse me. Also, I'd love to go cover more UFC events. And supposedly I'm good with Dana. Ha ha ha. Holly, if you're watching this, I want to be able to go to the UFC events and cover some of that. But yeah, it's very fascinating too, because in the realm I'm in, the UFC stuff doesn't really sell outside of like just the UFC circle, unless it's used to be Conor McGregor sold a lot. But now that he's doing a lot of bad things, I don't know if his pictures sell like they used to. But I'm hoping that the UFC's popularity will expand outside of just the UFC, Bloody Elbow and those kind of things, and also get more traction outside those regular walls. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just remembered the Epstein story is fascinating, and it's only going to get bigger. Sorry, I don't know about better. Depends on how you look at it. But Prince Andrew and all that stuff, it's a crazy, crazy story. The story's so big that it almost seems like it can't be broken because they don't want it to break. And they've let that thing go for so long. So many people are involved in it that I don't think they can actually dig deep and get the people that are guilty. I've noticed that about the law. There's things that we don't understand, regular people will never understand, because there's deals being made with the higher-ups. And certain people, they give tons of excuses and plea deals and backroom deals and all kinds of stuff that make no sense to a logical, justice-seeking person. So, like I said, why would they let Jeffrey Epstein get away with stuff for 30 years? There's so many pieces to this puzzle that if they broke it down, they could have gone after the people that were getting illegal immigration visas. They could have investigated the apartments that he had, that the people were staying in. They could have followed Jeffrey Epstein's brother, his ex-wife, who was a photographer who still lives in one of the apartments that Jeffrey Epstein kept the people that worked for him and the models, all those things. They chose not to do that. So it makes you realize there's an inside job. William Barr and his dad and all this other stuff. There's just such weird stuff going on. So again, that story is so big, and I hope something good comes out of it. And of course, you have the impeachment. It's amazing what people let bad people get away with because they're so fucking selfish. That blows my mind. The other thing that makes me shocked and offended is, what the fuck was the FBI doing? Like, obviously there's people who infiltrated every station of the government that don't have the best interests of American people. It's obvious, right? But like James Comey was so busy with Hillary and all this other shit and trying to be a rock star and trying to create a reality show for the FBI, which I think is stupid as fuck. Everybody wants to be a star in this shit. They need to just keep doing their fucking job. But let's get back to the point. James Comey was all over the place, yet he wasn't investigating Jeffrey Epstein, or he wasn't investigating that Trump is a psychopath, and he didn't see that. He's a profiler. Like, FBI should be profilers. Like, they should know certain behavioral characteristics that prove someone's a psychopath. So obviously Comey had his head up his ass Because I don't understand I don't understand what the fuck he was doing. Also, I don't understand why the FBI didn't go after certain people in LA for racketeering again, like Suge Knight. I don't understand that. Don't understand how the LADA let him get a plea deal, even though he was threatening people while he was on waiting trial for multiple cases, and they threw out a bunch of other cases. Like, I don't understand that. If they're worried about the money and the costs, take it out of his whatever money he has. But you gotta if you're gonna go for justice, you can't let a repeat offender get away with it. You can't give him slaps on the wrist and plea deals. Some people might think 28 years is just good, but considering he was doing crimes while he was awaiting court for that case and other cases, and he was committing multiple crimes and involving other people. I think 18 lawyers worked for him. It just shows you that the people running the game are corrupt. They don't make sense. You know, if I walk illegally in the street, I can get a ticket. And if I don't show up to court, I can go to jail if I don't pay that ticket. There's consequences. But for certain people, there doesn't seem to be consequences until the 15th or 16th time, until they kill somebody. So again, with Suge Knight, with Donald Trump, with Jeffrey Epstein, with Harvey Weinstein, with Bill Cosby, they let these people get away with shit for so long, it almost becomes a joke, yet it's not funny. So anyway, I don't even know if you're going to see this video or not, but I really want to do like a podcast and start speaking to you guys more, like this. So hopefully that'll come into fruition. So anyway, you guys have a great holiday, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. Oh yeah, buy one of my t-shirts. Help support the cause. It's at Redbubble. Kattalestv TV. And also I'm on Poshmark, Closet, Kattalestv TV. I think it's Kattalestv TV. I don't know. YouTube Cat. Excuse me. YouTube is Kattalestv TV. But you can find my links to Poshmark and eBay on my YouTube channel. Thank you. Hope my face isn't too shiny. Anyway, you guys have a great holiday. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Bye.